Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So wouldn't it be great if we could look into the future before we make any type of purchase and know for certain that whatever it is we buy, we would actually end up using? Well, I don't have that kind of power, and because I don't have that power, I have definitely made my fair share of mistakes when it comes to purchases, luxury purchases even, and that is definitely not great for the wallet. But I've been told I'm like a glass half full person, so I always look to the positive side of things, and at least now I know that I should never again buy these luxury items. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to be talking about 6 categories of luxury items that never again will I buy these items, because definitely lesson learned the hard way. And maybe it helps you guys save some money, or maybe you're on the same boat as me, learned your lesson the hard way. Let me know in the comments down below, and let's get into this video. So let's start with the item that really sparked me to make this video. And I was recently cleaning out my kitchen and I found this bowl. And it's not any old bowl. It is from Tiffany's. And if I remember correctly, I think it was like $80 or something like that. It's not available on their website anymore, but this was from back in 2018, I believe, and I think it was $80 back then. So why do I only have one bowl? Like, maybe you're thinking, why didn't I buy the whole set? Maybe I would feel differently if I had the whole set. And this was actually like a present from realtor back in 2018 when we were looking to buy our home. There was this one place that we were really interested in, but they were just so messy. Like, that company was just a complete mess, and they basically knew that they were like a mess and we were about to just like walk away from the deal. So to kind of like sweeten things up a little bit, they basically gifted us this glass crystal bowl from Tiffany's, and we never used it. I never cared to buy a set to complete this. We never used this. It is gathering dust, even though it is tucked away in one of my kitchen cabinets. And the reason is just because this is so inconvenient to use. It's not dishwasher safe. You have to hand wash this, and it's quite heavy. I just much rather use what we always use. Basically, there's this one brand, I believe it's pronounced Corel. They sell it on Amazon. It's pretty affordable, and basically we have like a whole set of their bowls, dishes of every size, and they're really lightweight and they're dishwasher safe. And yeah, we've been using them for like, I want to say like over 10 years at this point, and there really is no need to spend this amount of money on this. I don't know. I don't even think it's particularly pretty. No one really knows it's from Tiffany's. All you get is this little tiny like label on the bottom. I mean, luckily, I guess it never washes off. So there's that. So quality for you, I guess. But yeah, just what is the point of this bowl? So for this category, it really is homeware items. So I will never spend my own money on luxury homeware items. I would encourage you not to either. If anyone was gifting us anything, like our friends or family and stuff like that, I wouldn't want them to spend this amount of money either. It's just completely outrageous. I know that those Hermes Avalon blankets are really popular, and I think I've spoken about this in the past, but I really love my Barefoot Dreams blankets. I have, I want to say like 4 of them at this point, and they're so soft and so cuddly and so warm, and I just have them like in all different parts of the house, and they're so easy to clean too. You just throw it in the washing machine and done. That's it. You can even throw it in the dryer to dry it. Like, it's so simple. Similar to this, I just can't be bothered hand washing anything. I just want convenience. Like, I hate doing chores already. Why would I want to do more chores, right? So I'm not looking for like luxury in my homeware items. Well, maybe I am. I'm looking for the luxury of convenience. What really makes this more luxurious? I really don't know. But yeah, going forward, definitely will not be spending luxury money on homeware items. Now, my mom and I have very different approaches when it comes to jewelry. I really love my dainty pieces, the items that I can mix and match and wear all the time, versus for her, she is super attracted to statement jewelry that she really only ever wears to weddings and stuff like that. But I think she's just not as excited when she sees like your more typical everyday pieces. So when she goes to buy me jewelry as gifts, she also picks out statement pieces for me. And if you look at my jewelry collection, like 95% of it is daintier pieces that I've picked out myself, and then the other 5%, there's just such a stark difference between the two. You can definitely tell which pieces were not picked out by me because they are so much flashier in my opinion. So I have a few of them to share with you guys. The first one is this pendant right here that it's just really big and is completely covered in diamonds, and this is what it looks like in comparison to the necklaces that I'm wearing right now. Just so chunky, and I just don't feel comfortable wearing this. I've only ever worn this, I want to say like twice. Never going to get this down to a good price per wear ever. It's just not going to happen. And I think this next piece is one that I paid for at least partially because I felt bad that she was spending so much money on jewelry for me. So this is what this one looks like. It's not quite as overwhelmingly big as the one that I just showed you guys, but really even this is, I don't know, it's not me. And I've basically learned from these pieces. Oh yeah, and there's also my Phoenix dragon bracelet that I didn't grab when I came to film this video. She basically bought like the chunkiest one for me. I've worn that a single time, and these pieces aren't from designer brands or anything, but frankly all fine jewelry is a luxury. So yeah, I've definitely learned my lesson. Will not be spending 4-5 figures on fine jewelry just for a statement piece that I would really never wear. Okay, so this next category might be a very unpopular opinion because I feel like within the luxury community, there is this path that a lot of people take when it comes to buying their luxury items. So they start with Louis Vuitton, and then they move to Chanel and then Hermes. And when they finally get their quota bag, then they buy themselves a Rolex. And the category that I'm talking about in today's video is luxury watches. And for me personally, I have had some fancier watches when I was younger. I mean, fancy for that stage of my life. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I feel like back then, Michael Kors watches were such a big thing. Actually, that was probably the very start of my rose gold obsession because I had this really chunky rose gold colored watch from Michael Kors. I bought it because everyone had it. Honestly, that was the reason. I never really wore it, maybe like a couple of times. And I feel like every time I would go to wear it, it would need a new battery, basically. Eventually, I did sell that. I had a slightly more expensive one from Movado that I also never really wore, ended up selling that too. Just watches are not my thing. I really just use my phone to tell time. If I were ever to get a watch, I feel like I would buy it from a jewelry house and have it function as a jewelry piece that just happens to tell time instead of, you know, buying a watch for the purpose of a watch. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think there are some from Van Cleef & Arpels that are really gorgeous as jewelry pieces. And I can appreciate the mechanics behind watches from like Rolex, for example, but that's just a lot of work, in my opinion, to keep it functioning properly. Like, I would want my watch to just have the right time unless it runs out of battery or I have to change it because daylight savings is starting or ending. I don't want to have to wind it up or anything of the sort. And yeah, even when I was much younger, I remember my dad used to really want a Rolex for himself. And you know, my brother eventually got him one, and I would just look at that and be like, I don't really see the appeal in this, and that opinion has just never changed for me over time. So definitely I would spend money on jewelry, fine jewelry, but I would not spend money on a fancy luxury watch. And the next category of items that I will never buy again is travel accessories. So I'm not talking about the items that I can use in my day-to-day life, but just so happen to be great travel companions, but specifically the items that are really marketed for traveling. I would just never again am I buying those items. Just such a waste of money. And the example I have to show for this category is this passport cover I have from Louis Vuitton, and I have not used this a single time, and I have owned this for like 1.5 years at this point. I want to say it is so adorable. I bought it because it was so stinking cute. There's this little panda on it, there's some bamboo here, there's the little Vivienne with even a camera and like the kirigami pouch, and then the Great Wall of China in the back. It is just so adorable. Completely sucked me in to spending my money, but haven't used this a single time. Since I've gotten this, the travel that I've done has been within the United States, and I don't need my passport for that. I just need to bring my driver's license, so really haven't had use for this. Yes, you can put like credit cards in here and use this as like a wallet, but it doesn't make sense for me to use this over, you know, the items that, like I said, are made for like everyday usage. Like I have card holders. Why would I be using a passport cover as a wallet versus I can go the other way around and I can use like a wallet, or actually in this case, the medium kirigami actually fits passports. So it makes more sense for me to go the other way and use that medium kirigami as like a passport holder, because that is an item that I actually use, like, I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but I use it like way more often than this. And also, not to mention that usually when we like travel, I do kind of like hold all the important like documents and stuff like that for my husband. I guess you could like stuff multiple passports in this, but that medium kirigami that I have fits like at least 2 passports. So it really just makes more sense for me to use that. I really did want to, like, in theory, I would like to take this if I go on vacation to China, go visit the Great Wall, and just like have a picture holding this against the backdrop of the Great Wall of China. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think I really ever thought that it made sense to buy luxury items specifically for travel purposes. But you know, like I said, this really sucked me in. I was right back then. I shouldn't have bought this, but never again will I buy something like this, or like, say for instance, like a key ball from Louis Vuitton, or I don't even know, like one of those fancy suitcases, whatever. Not going to be doing that ever again. So I wanted to end this video with 2 categories of handbags that I would never buy again. You know, I buy quite a few handbags, and I would be totally lying to you guys if I were to say that all of my handbag purchases were successes. Not a single person would believe me, and I do have examples to show for both of these categories. So the first category is bags that do not fit my phone. So this is the bag right here, and this is my phone, and my phone does not fit in there. Actually, practically nothing fits into this bag, but that's a whole different story, right? So I am typically pretty careful with my phone when I'm at home, but it's a completely different story when I'm out and about. So I'm used to there being a dedicated space for my phone in my bag. So a lot of my bags are flap style bags. So I'm used to kind of like opening up the flap and then sticking my phone in there or taking it out. And when I have to hold my phone when I'm using this bag, then I am just very clumsy, and I have dropped this phone multiple times. There are dings and scratches all over it, and yeah, it's just, it doesn't work. I'm not doing this again. There are multiple reasons why this bag is just not great for me, but definitely the fact that it doesn't fit my phone is probably like the biggest factor into why I don't really like using it. So yeah, definitely this was very expensive for the size, so expensive, lesson learned for sure. And finally, for the second handbag category that I will never spend my money on again is straw and wicker bags. Now, this is actually something that I have only recently realized. So I do have this wicker bag right here that I've owned for quite a few years at this point. I want to say like 5-6 years. It's not crazy expensive, so at least I didn't buy like the Wicker Lady Dior or something like that, but still I never really used it all that much. And definitely in like the more recent years, like the past 2 years or so, I've really only used it like once or twice. And yes, this is a seasonal bag, so you're not going to use this an awful lot anyways, but still I have come to realize that if I am going for like a more summer vibes type of bag, I want it to be more like relaxed, and that looks a little bit more effortless in my opinion. You know, using something like this just doesn't really feel effortless to me. Something that is made out of cloth or canvas would be a better fit. Like I have really been loving my Chanel Tweed Mini recently. There is this other canvas kind of like mini tote bag that I got recently that I have been loving, and I would say that both of those bags are also like seasonal bags, but in the short amount of time that I have owned those bags, I have already used them way more than I have used this bag, and I've owned this for so much longer. So I think that's really saying something. And also it doesn't help that I do have a mini Lady Dior that is in essentially the same color as this. And I have always talked about how I just prefer leather handbags over other materials. So yeah, I'm not going to be buying a wicker bag anytime soon again. And I feel like brands are releasing a lot of their popular styles in a wicker material. Like even Louis Vuitton came out with their capucines this year in like a wicker material. Fendi did the same thing with their peekaboo, and it costs even more than those styles in leather. And I don't know, just paying like $6,000, $7,000 for like a wicker bag, I can't do it. So never again for sure. So those are 6 categories of luxury items that I have personally learned from experience to never buy again. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did. And do let me know in the comments down below, do you feel the same way as I do about these specific categories? Are there other luxury items that you wish you never bought and you never wasted your money on? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see, I believe it's like 7 more categories of luxury items that I wouldn't recommend you buying, I will leave an older video of mine linked up here. It's one of the earlier ones on my channel, but definitely still a lot of great content in there. So I'll leave that for you guys linked above. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for new videos every single week on luxury and fashion. And I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you to watch next. So I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.